All right, before we get into this gameplay, quickly just want to go over my deck. It's pretty basic, a lot of ace components as well as Whitebeard generals. A lot of 2k 8 cost or 2k 8,000 bodies to get the special abilities from this gentleman and also the Ezo for the draw. In my opinion, after playing Newgate a little bit, I feel like Odin unfortunately is just dead weight. He's a combination card. In order to play him and a 6,000 body, you need them to be together. But if you're on 7 Dawn, do you really want to play him, or do you want to play the 6 cost Diamond Jozu to set up for the 8 cost Newgate? I like going second with this deck mostly because I've been going up against Xebec for anime lore purposes, and I think that Xebec does better second. Newgate, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I've noticed Odin is kind of meh. The Marco low-key could be good for removal protection. Ace, surprisingly, is kind of he's kind of okay. He's kind of just an extra searcher. But this is the deck. This is the setup. A lot of new cards, a lot of staple Whitebeard cards. So let's go ahead and let's look at the video, which is Mr. Whitebeard, the new Whitebeard from the 4th anniversary set OP-17, which is coming out pre-release this end of this week. Good luck if anyone got in. I didn't. And then the official release is the 28th, I think. So as you can see here, I got Ezo. Play it, draw one. If you have an 8 cost or an 8,000 body in your hand. It's a pretty interesting deck list. As you can see, I kinda don't, I got unlucky here where I have all these 2Ks because you kind of don't need them early on. But at the same time, it did help with the search on Ezo, so I kind of don't really mind it that much. And one thing that I learned playing against Xebec maybe once or twice is that he gets ridiculously strong late game, whereas with Newgate, he's pretty balanced. Like, you can chuck a card and get a 4K counter early on and basically poo-poo their parade. And similarly, you can also do a lot of damage early on to Xebec because Xebec gets a lot of his damage reduction from cards that are on the board. He has his own Newgate, who ends up doing like minus 3k or plus 3k if he's on the board. So you actually kind of want to be ridiculously aggressive against Xebec. You are red, you have rush. It unironically sometimes is better to just play like a vanilla rush character up until the point Buddy plays a 7 cost. His 7 cost is nasty because, and look at this right here. I never did this before, but I decided to trash from myself to hurt him. I don't know if this is big brained or baby brained, but every time I let him draw 2, and this time I was like, no. Now, this time you're not going to draw 2. So I end up chucking the event, and I end up chucking the 2K. I still have 2 AKs in hand, so I can use the 8 cost Newgate's effect, which is actually really good. The 8 cost Newgate effect is that reveal 2 cards from your hand that are 8,000 power. I don't think they have to be Whitebeard, it just has to be 8,000 power. And then he does minus 6,000 to somebody on the field. That's really, really good. And it ends up really allowing you to make up for opponents being faster than you, opponents, summoning more than you. And as you can see here, the 6 cost Diamond Joe's, in my opinion, he's the 6 drop. Like, there's no reason not to use him. He's really, really good. And that's why I think I'm going to take Odin out. Like, I like Odin. I thought he was going to be amazing. Like, you play Odin, and then, oh my god, you also get the Ezo for free, and you get the rush and get the board. But you actually want to be really purposeful with your cards. You want to have things that buff your leader. You want to have things that can make a difference in the game. And believe it or not, Odin doesn't. Odin really doesn't. He genuinely does less than the starter deck Newgate that, at least when he rests, can get rid of a blocker. Odin is just, I don't know, bro. He doesn't do enough. As a brick, I get it. He can summon someone who's 6,000 power or less. But whatever. And then this is the big drainer. Ironically enough, I think he's the treasurer, but he's not only the treasurer. It's the Whitebeard and Stussy, where on attack and opponent's attack, I think you just need to just use his ability. You get plus 3k for free. It's pretty crazy. Well, that's a whole meme with Xebec, is that if you allow him to get a board, he's extremely annoying. If you don't allow him to get a board, he's pretty much vulnerable because he has a bunch of like 2k events and he has a bunch of like different things. And right here, I usually would take the hit, but I've been losing OD because I'm just like, you know, I'll take the hit, no problem. I'll take the hit, no problem, which is not the smartest thing to do. And right here, I think I chucked the ace because I'm thinking to myself, why would I play ace? Like, no offense to ace, but why would I play you right now when I have all these other options? So I kind of, you know, I felt bad for ace, but he really is just an extra searcher. And if we don't need him, we really don't want to play him. That's a whole thing for Odin. I think Odin, and this is where I literally forgot this, this Newgate even does this, where you reveal 2 8,000 power in hand, which thankfully I had 2. You do minus 6K. So I decided to do the 7K swing to life, just because, why not? Just to see if he would use the +3. He did. Fair enough. It kind of makes sense. And then from here, which is really nice, it's kind of awkward because, like, if I left the Ezo on the field, I could have potentially have killed this character and then swung with the Jozu to life. But believe it or not, it makes more sense early on to just lose the Ezo and then just do what I'm doing right now, because I would have not swung with Ezo and I wouldn't have not gotten those 2 lives. Like, early on, 5 swings are lethal to this guy. That's why, like, if you play Gecko Moria and you get like legit 4 bodies and you do like 3 6K swings, it's like it's monumental. It's literally groundbreaking. Whereas with Newgate, he's a complete opposite, where, like, well, actually not necessarily. He's kind of similar where, you know, you have the chuck something, you get +4, so 1 big swing you can kind of handle. And then he has the other thing, which is that if you are playing the Diamond Jozu, you get +3K. If you're playing the 10 cost Newgate, you're going to get +3K. So it's pretty interesting. And believe it or not, this 10 cost Newgate, I play 3 of him. He is good, but he's not perfect, because if you don't have a very strong board, you're not going to play him for 10, in my opinion. And you're going to see, if I'm not mistaken, I think we end up drawing a Ezo. And because we have the option of either spending all 10 Don or playing Ezo and doing a bunch of other stuff, I think we end up doing that. And actually, I think it does make more sense. But it's really fun. I do like this deck. I think against Xebec, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's kind of like a harsh matchup. Like, Xebec's really annoying. He actually, I think this is one of the few games where he doesn't get the blocker that removes a 5-cost body, but it kind of doesn't matter because I didn't have one anyway. Maybe he had it, just didn't play it. And then at the same time, as you can see here, he just froze 2 of my units, which is crazy. Like, that's really annoying. Right here, I take the 2K because, like, genuinely, like, what are we even doing? And right here, I don't even realize that he doesn't have a 10K body on the field, because I'm thinking, like, oh, I'll play all this, I'll do all this, and then what I'll end up playing is the 6-cost Whitebeard, but he's not 6 cost anymore. He's actually quite a bit cost. And right here, I'm happy because I got the Ezo, and I'm thinking, like, oh, should I take this? Should I do that? And ironically enough, at this point in time, believe it or not, I did not take that 2-cost blocker. Like, Ezo is the better option, but the reason why I took the Ezo is because I was like, oh, next turn after I play this Newgate, I will do XYZ. And then I realized, I was like, oh, he has no 10 cost on the field. I can't play Newgate. But it's actually pretty nice because he froze 2 of my units, which sucks. But, like, look at the options we have, right? Like, his board is pretty bad. He has the Stussy, unfortunately. This is an opportunity where you could potentially use, what's his name? I lost his mind here, by the way, because I really wanted this Newgate deck. I'm telling you, this Newgate is so annoying that I actually swung 8 to 2. Yes, I swung 8 to 2 because I just didn't want to deal with it. And I mean, honestly, I don't know if he could have stopped it. He definitely could have used his ability. And then I could do 10 to life, and then as you can see here, he's about to do a whole lot. So had this not have played out this way, I think he would have tried to have saved that Newgate maybe. But at the end of the day, next turn, he has the option to rest 3 cards, and after resting 3 cards, he can basically, or rest 3 Dawn, he can freeze anyone. So that Stussy's very annoying. Really, really annoying, actually. And this is where I didn't understand how Fossa works. I thought Fossa was just a straight-up blocker, and then I realized, like, oh, wait, he's not a straight-up blocker. He's actually someone that has to essentially have a 10,000 body on their side, and then during activate main you choose to make him a blocker. It's a little weird. I actually had the harebrained scheme to play the 2-cost blocker. I forgot his name. He's a 2-cost blocker, and then on KO you play a 1-cost card. So in theory you could block, play Fossa for 1, and that's another blocker. But I guess there's no real like 1-cost blocker cards that are Whitebeard Pirates other than the blue Vista. I can't think of any. But maybe you can play like a 1-cost. I don't know. I know there's a block 1 chopper. And then this guy's really annoying. The 7-cost is really, really annoying because every time he attacks, he can do Dawn, or not even Dawn. He trashes a card and does minus 3k. So there you go. The Ezo's gone. We have the Stussy on board, but this is where we get our God card, bro. I'm telling you, I might add a third Rayleigh. Rayleigh is really, really good. He's good in a lot of red decks just because he does a lot. Like, he's doing removal, and on top of removal, he's also doing a bit of damage negation, so that next turn, you're not going to take as many big swings. Which, as you can see here, you can see Xebec is actually pretty annoying because I meant to do 3 and then minus 2 and then simply pop the Stussy. And then this guy, because he has this annoying guy that can stop removal, he's like, no, no, no. I would rather trash 2 cards and have you remove the Stussy. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty ridiculous. So he ends up protecting the Stussy, which I'm kind of surprised about. I guess maybe because he thought that's all he had going for him, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. But it's pretty weird that he's gonna do this, considering that I have a lot of swings. Like, I have 3 swings. I guess he's thinking like, keep them on board, and if I keep them on board, he won't go for my life, which is pretty true. I would do that. But I was kind of surprised that he did all this. So first and foremost, believe it or not, right now we got what's his face, Mr. I don't even know his name. I just know he's a 7-drop Xebec. He's 6k. We're going to swing at 8 to 6. We got to get rid of this guy. He's annoying, dude. He is so annoying. And as you can see here, immediately, he does the minus 3 on opponent's attack. For the turn, by the way. For the turn. I don't know if he could have done that to leader, but I was trying to get rid of him. And then after getting rid of him, I was trying to basically finesse a little bit and be like, oh, I'm just going to swing for life and get the double attack. But I don't know. I feel like this Xebec was pretty good. Like, he did pretty much what every other Xebec does. But what I noticed that was different this time, 2 big differences, is one, believe it or not, I've had games where I had way more in hand, like way more cards in hand, but I did worse because it just wasn't purposeful. Like, there was really no reason for what I was doing. And what I mean by that is I would have a bunch of 2Ks, I would have a bunch of counters, I would have a bunch of the characters, but like, it didn't mean anything. And a lot of bricks are in this deck, so like, you want to go turn it over turn. So believe it or not, even though I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cards in hand, it's kind of worth it. And right here, I did not envision him doing this. I just wanted to get rid of the 2k body just to get rid of him and have another swinger for next turn. And then he actually chucks 2 cards. And I was like, what? Like, why would you do that exactly? What's going on here? I'm really, really confused. But he decided to keep 3 swings. And I guess could he have won this is what I'm thinking. If he swung a 7 and then a 7 and then everything else, he might have been able to win it. I don't know. Well, actually, no, that's not true, because if he swung 2 7s, I would have used the ability. And then after that, I'm assuming he would have done like maybe 8. And if he did 8, he would have had to give 4 to what's-his-face. And then it would be less for him. So I might have been able to survive here. I don't know for sure. I think he did it the worst way you could do it, because he basically like swung 5, 7, and then I guess he was going to go 9, which is okay-ish. But I'm looking at what he has, and another thing just to keep in mind is like, the reason why Xebec is so annoying is like, once he gets up board, like that Newgate, for example, super duper annoying. He can just do plus 3k to himself multiple times. So if that Newgate had survived, he'd be doing a 12 right now, which is pretty crazy. I would have died. So at this point, I have the 4k counter from leader ability, and I have the 2k in hand, and we're golden. Like, there's not much to really worry about, because We've got double attack. We've got 1, 2, 3, hits. And as you can see, obviously, he ends up just giving up. There's really not much he could have done here because, like, as you can see, like, he didn't have anything. Like, he used all his counters for the most part. He used all his different abilities. If I had swung a 7, he could have stopped it. But then I would have ended up swinging, like, probably two 5s or, like, 2 7s maybe. And then we have 3 swings that he probably would not be able to stop. I mean, his deck, literally, unironically, no exaggeration, is like all bricks. Literally all bricks. It's just that once he gets his board, it's super freaking annoying because all along the way here, we were able to kind of counteract what he was doing where, in this scenario, the Rayleigh ended up being clutch because we were able to handle the Stussy. We were able to handle the 7 cost, which usually you don't get. And we also got lucky because before this, we were able to handle his Edward Newgate. And I'm telling you, his Edward Newgate is like his god card. He is so annoying. Because we found the Ezo and because we were able to punish his board progression. Now, I don't know what's the best way to play Newgate because as you can see, I'm going second here, which whenever you play second, you're a little bit more reactionary. And it kind of makes sense because if you look at it, we have a lot of like attack, damage reduction. We have a lot of different things. And unless a character were to swing, you're not going to be able to get rid of them. And this guy, Xebec, has annoying removal protection. He has annoying protection in general. So I feel like the way we played it is the way you're supposed to play it. I like it. It's fun. It's definitely different from like more fast-paced Red Rush decks. It's not a Red Rush deck. You could probably build one that's a Red Rush deck, but it wouldn't do as good because all of the removal is really, really good. And Ezo is, a character rusher at least. But I think it's very interesting. I think it's very fun. I don't know if it'll be one of the better decks if everybody is paying attention. Green has gotten a ridiculous upgrade with Shanks. So I'm assuming that the Shanks deck, as well as anything green like Mihawk, is going to be a pain in the butt. But Xebec is not terrible. It's just that Xebec as well as Newgate, they're kind of like same face of the 2 coins where like they get bodied by like 4 or 5 swings. Like I guarantee you if Boa was versing Xebec or Boa was versing Newgate, she would be very annoying because she would be doing a bunch of 5 swings. And eventually what would end up happening is that you wouldn't be able to cut into her board. But from 6 down up, which is not that much, 6 down up is like turn 3. If you don't focus, if you don't allow her to ramp and like basically get a lot of things with her trigger, you could potentially become an 8K boss leader. And at that point, that's very annoying because Boa likes to swing a bunch of 7s, Boa likes to swing a bunch of 6s, and you really do put a thorn in their side if you start putting yourself as an 8 body. So it's pretty interesting to see. I don't know how it'll end up working out once, the meta is metaing. But I wanted to play Newgate. He looks fun. Happy Secret Ace is not as pinnacle or important as I thought because he's super expensive. So I'm looking forward to this. It looks really fun. Hopefully, if you're out there, you're able to go to a pre-release. I probably won't. I have work, and plus I didn't get into one. I probably, maybe, potentially will get one booster box. I'm going to rip it. I'm not going to open it. Or I'm not going to save it, rather. So it is what it is with that. Either way, I'll probably hope that people go crazy, buy a bunch of cases, and then I'll be able to buy pretty much everything I want for cheap on TCG Player. And one of the benefits of using a deck that's not super duper hyped is, of course, the fact that the cards should be cheaper. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what ends up going down. But yeah, Edward Newgate, he is the new leader. He is the new king of the modern era. He's very fun. He's very cool. He plays very differently. He has a bit of a vanilla leader skill, chuck a card, get plus 4K. But it comes in clutch, as you can see here. I mean, could I have survived here? Technically, no. Funny enough, I really couldn't, actually, now that I think about it. Well, actually, I could have. Yeah, well, I could have chucked a card to get plus 4, which I would have survived. But then he would just have free reign to kill one of my 8K bodies, I guess. Either way, we ended up playing well. We ended up getting the win. And hey, if you are looking for One Piece TCG, check out the Poke Restock app on Android or iOS. It is the best way to get One Piece online through Crunchyroll, Box Lunch, some double infinity drops sometimes. We try our best to give you under market prices and as close to MSRP as possible. And hopefully you get lucky, you get the cards you want to play with, or you get that all elusive manga. Either way, One Piece 4th anniversary is soon releasing. Release week will be here. Expect to see drops on Target, Walmart, and potentially other online retailers. Lock in with the Poke Restock app and see if you too can potentially get some One Piece cards in your hands.